Hello and welcome. You probably are watching this video because you saw one of our short videos. We've got a number of them out on the internet and podcasts. The one you may have seen is probably having to do with bankruptcies and how does that relate or affect your loan modification. Well, first of all, let me warn you, if you start a loan modification and you're scared for whatever reason and you file for bankruptcy, the entire process stops. You really want to avoid a bankruptcy until after the loan modification. Now, the reason I say that is because let's say that you are concerned with people calling you, the creditors calling you because you've missed several months of credit card payments. Well, so you're contemplating doing a bankruptcy. But here you have your house, and you've learned that, hey, you know what, I'm going to do a loan modification. Or maybe you decided to start a loan modification, and you learned that it takes forever to get a loan modification get going. And by the way, we do have programs and other material that will help you through that. But basically what happens is this. You're scared. You're getting letters from creditors. Some attorneys or collection agencies are bothering you. So you jump the gun and say, whoa, I'm going to do my bankruptcy. They're going to take all this money from me, so I just want to make sure they stop. Well, that's kind of true. Eventually, in the future, they will take your money from you. And by the way, let me preempt this by saying you need to speak to your bankruptcy attorney to represent you and to give you, this is only my opinion on this, based on my experience. So what you need to do is, after you discuss with your bankruptcy attorney, they will clarify some of the things, but at least this video will give you some ideas on what to discuss with them. Okay, so the bankruptcy. If you're scared, what you need to do is understand how this process works. If you haven't paid your credit cards and it's sold to a collection agency, the collection agency first has to put a judgment on you. Eventually they'll do that. Before that, they'll try to collect from you. Once a judgment has been passed and ruled by the court, could be a year and a half in the future, after that, that is when you are subject to being garnished bank accounts and whatnot. Before that, no one is going to take any money from you. So while you do need to be cautious, typically without a judgment, unless you challenge it through arbitration, no one is going to take money from you. So if you haven't been submitted a final judgment yet or served with a final judgment, don't be afraid. Finish your loan modification first. If you file the bankruptcy, your modification ceases to exist because they put codes in the bank. They can't, it's a legal issue, they can't continue with your modification because then the codes have to be released for the modification file. There's things that have to be done, so the bank may actually just stop. So, best case scenario, you get your modification first. And then you go for your bankruptcy if you have to. Throw in your credit card debt or whatnot. Now, this really goes into play if you also have a second lien mortgage, because if you get modified on the first and you wait on that bankruptcy, you can actually, in many cases now, include that second lien as part of your bankruptcy. So imagine if you can just erase part or all of your second lien if the house is the value of the house has dropped so much. So that's why it might be better to wait for the bankruptcy, because if you do your bankruptcy first and then do a loan modification, well, you know, then you don't really know how the outcome of the modification is, what that's going to be. Imagine if you follow your bankruptcy, actually imagine if you do your modification first, and then you know the entire outcome, so then you can decide what's going to happen in your bankruptcy. But if you do the bankruptcy first, well, you know, you don't really know, you haven't had the results of the modification. And what if you're doing a short sale? This applies, same thing with a short sale. You do your bankruptcy, the short sale gets canceled and delayed. So you're doing the bankruptcy, but you really don't know the end results of that short sale. So it's best to find out what the damage is. Say on the short sale, maybe the bank says you owe us a deficiency of 40 grand. Well, great, take that 40 grand and throw it into a bankruptcy along with your credit card debt. So bankruptcy, loan modifications, and short sales. Wait for the bankruptcy if you can. Know the outcome of what is going on. Wait to see if you're going to include that second lien in the bankruptcy and have them strip it off. And if the only reason you're doing a bankruptcy is because of your mortgage, because maybe you don't have high credit card payments, just wait. Wait for your modification to finalize, see what you've got. Maybe you don't even have to file a bankruptcy, because maybe the first and the second are modified to such an extent that you're good to go. So anyways, I hope this helped, and be sure to wait for the next the round of videos that we will be sending to you. That'll help you expand on some of these ideas and other points during a loan modification. Good luck, and your